All right, mate. So some Luna, some TA on Luna here. Well, so if you remember, you know, when we were up here, you know, I said it would go lower, and then we would probably bounce back up into this range up here before going lower again. I think it was that first video that I made you, and so far that's played out perfectly. You know, well, I remember you were talking about the 40-cent level or whatever, and I told you probably best to sell, best to get out if it comes back up into that area. That was the area, you know, if you're bouncing back up there, that's an area to sell. So, you know, so far that was pretty spot on, and that we got the rollover. I know a few other members shorted Luna as well. They sent me a message about it, but I don't know. I don't know if they held the whole way through. You know, after a big drop like that, it's nice to take some profits, but it did get that 25% bounce or whatever that was, and then it did roll over again. So it's, you know, it's an interesting situation. At the moment, it looks oversold. It looks like it's trying to bounce back up. I don't think that this is going to flip red on the month, right? So we have that line there. I don't think this is going to flip red in the month. I think it's probably going to bounce up a bit. Let's look at a few time frames here, so you can see that the 9 week is red. You know, Luna is overall bearish at the moment. If you remember as well, I told you that you know, this was in my opinion going to retrace, and we were probably up here at the time or wherever. I said that there's a good chance that this can drop down to fill this retrace candle, because, you know, it was a big move up, right? But you can see here now where we're kind of acting as support kind of into this previous wick. Hopefully that holds and we get some sort of bounce off this level and bounces back up. That's not guaranteed, but I think it's probably into that area where we can get some bounce. I'm not very bullish on Luna. I think it probably needs to, like, if this does bounce up here, I think it's going to go lower again. Okay, so again, if it does bounce up into this area here or whatever, you know, I think it's a sell. I think you know, sell if you're in a position, maybe sell it in. Well, I didn't draw that very well, but if it comes back up close to your break-even point, if you're still in this, I don't know if you're still in this, but if it comes back up close to your break-even point, I think it's a sell to get out, because a bounce here could lead to lower prices. You may need some patience for a bounce, but for now it looks like the low is in. Price needs to hold above this opening price right down here. See this kind of stop on. This moving average is a lagging moving average. It's a lagging indicator, but that will be closer to price come the next weekly candle. I do think this bounces a bit, and I do think into next week there is a decent possibility of getting some sort of bounce back up. It's tough to say how much of a bounce, right? It is tough to say. We need to watch it carefully, but you know, it's struggling. There's no question about it. It is struggling and it's bearish at the moment. I think we will see lower prices at some point, but that's why I'm saying if there is a bounce, it's probably good to sell into it. Now, there is ways around this. There is ways around the bearishness and going lower. Like if we can put in some sort of base here, maybe it'll bounce back. Maybe it'll do the BART pattern and come back up. If we form some sort of, you know, bottoming structure here, for example, and maybe it'll break back up. But so far we haven't done that. We need to keep an eye on the price action. We need to assess it. We need to assess the volume. You know, maybe whales could come on and start buying this up. We might, you know, keep an eye on the volume and different things. There's you know, there is a lot of things we could do in the meantime. But I do, unless things change, I don't think the low is in. But you know, if we get that bounce, you know, it might be a profit taken before going lower.